The technician brings a lot of things to the IT landscape. They bring the ability of actually being happy to get their hands dirty, to get deep into the actual technology and build things, stick things together. It's very easy for an engineer to come up with some sort of black box vision of how things should look. This should do this kind of stuff, and this should do that kind of stuff. The technician is the guy that is actually going to build it. He's going to get deep down and dirty with it and get his hands dirty making a circuit or writing some actual software, and that actually has to work. So, they're the people that are actually responsible for making the vision happen. And that's an incredibly powerful role. Without that, it just doesn't happen. It just stays as a theoretical concept. It's the technician that makes that theoretical concept into an actual hard reality. I think technician roles are changing all the time. It used to be just sticking circuits together. These days it's an awful lot of it's about writing software or websites or databases and things like that, holding it all together. So it's already changed beyond recognition. We're seeing more digital skills rather than just hardware skills. But that's a cyclical process. Now with Internet of Things coming along, an awful lot of gadgets that you buy have got the software already incorporated into them, so we're starting to see a lot of hardware skills coming back in. BCS are introducing this new RITTech certification. I think it's a very valuable step forwards. We're seeing other institutions that have got certification processes for various levels, and I think this is a really good one for the BCS. It allows them to give the technicians a formal recognition of a particular level of technical achievement, and once they've got that, that then authorises them to be employed in various roles. And a company looking around the place with thousands of potential candidates, they need to know that these people that they're recruiting have got that technical ability. So things like RITTech certification are exactly the sort of thing that people need. This is a very valuable step forwards for the BCS. And I think it's a very valuable step forwards as well for the technicians who apply for it and the ones that eventually achieve that certification. I think professional standards are very important. That's got two parts though. Professional standards are about achieving a certain level of technical competence, such as RITTech certification. But professionalism is more than just that. It's about having the right attitudes to life. It's about dedication to your job. It's about making sure that the customer gets a good product. It's about the personal dedication to achieving that standard on an ongoing basis. That's really what professionalism is. So it's a two-part thing. I think they go very well together, but if you haven't got the right attitude, then having the right qualifications isn't really very useful. And if you've got the right attitude but you don't have that certification, then that's also not that great. But if you've got one and you've got the other, then you're exactly the right sort of person to do that kind of a job. I think in the UK, people don't generally hold engineers and technicians in very high regard. They think of doctors and lawyers and all these other people in very high regard, but engineers and technicians tend to get looked down on. I'm not very sure why that is historically. But when you think about it, it's engineers and technicians that actually make everything that all these other groups rely on. You wouldn't have all of this medical equipment that the surgeons and the doctors are using were it not for the technicians and engineers actually making it in the first place. Now, most other companies, companies especially like Germany, really value the people working in those fields because they recognise that all of this stuff doesn't work unless you've got them. So the people hold them in very high regard in those countries, and other countries in the Far East as well, in the Middle East, we've got India and China and so on. They also hold technicians and engineers in very high regard. I'm not sure why we don't have that in the UK, but we really need to adopt that sort of attitude to these groups and to start treating them with rather more respect than they are at the moment. Our jobs in every other aspect of our everyday lives would not be anywhere near as developed and as enjoyable were it not for the technicians and engineers making all the kit that we use in those areas. So it's about time that the respect was given in the levels that it's due to those groups.